Hey everybody, so here's the apartment complex. Thanks for tuning in to Pot Be the Commentary. What is this? Looks like a gunshot. I wonder where it came from. Let's see, maybe it came from a bird, maybe a plane, or possibly the Venezuelan gangs. Hmm. So here's the apartment complex. Look at all the trash. And how are the people living in the apartment complex since the new arrivals?
All-out warfare. That's how people describe the gunfire at an apartment complex in Aurora last night.
Now, people say they were ducking at the complex, which some say needs to be shut down because of violations there. Fox 1 reporter Vicente Arenas today getting a closer look at some surveillance video showing an armed gunman. Vicente is joining us live now from Aurora with more on this story. Vicente.
Mm.
Erica, that video was downright chilling. We're not going to be able to show that on television, but I also want to let the viewers know that we have just gotten some new information from the Aurora Police Department saying that a regional effort has now been started to target crime involving migrant communities. This is a big deal because for quite some time now, we've been hearing about the violence taking place in the migrant communities.
Well, if they wouldn't be here, illegal immigration, what do you expect?
In Denver, but in other cities across the country. Now, we are still not sure exactly what happened at this apartment complex, but what happened last night was downright ferocious with all that gunfire.
Car after car hit by gunfire, shattered glass, police tape surrounding a large crime scene.
So hold on. Car after car hit by gunfire. I wonder if they have cars here. Probably not. I think they might. I mean, well, they should. I mean, you got free food and you got free checks. Come on. Free rent, free health insurance. Car after car just shot up. Is anyone going to help the Americans replace the glass? What if there's body damage? Anybody going to pay that deductible for insurance? Or you know what? The economy is so bad that many Americans live in their probably don't even have insurance, so they may just have liability at the best. Liability if that. So who's going to pay for the damages? Meanwhile, the same Americans who are working, you're having to pay for illegal immigrants through your tax dollars, the food, the free health insurance, the free rent. And if they're getting that check, don't forget there's a thing called the EBT is for the food. That card you get free. And then there's EBT cash. Buy whatever you want, I guess. Wow, I mean it's a double dual card. Food and cash. Wow. So vehicle after vehicle been shot up. And it said that this didn't happen until they moved in, 6 or 7 months ago.
That was still being investigated at an apartment complex more than 12 hours after gunfire erupted in Aurora.
Warfare. That's all. It was different calibers guns, many different kinds of guns.
The shooting at the Edge at Lowry Apartments on Dallas Street Sunday night around 11:30 left a man with life-threatening wounds. Police found numerous shell casings. This woman says she heard gunshots and got down, fearing she'd be hit by guns.
So different type of guns being shot. Gee, it didn't happen till they came here. Don't forget, Venezuelan. In mid-May, Venezuelan security officials announced that crime indicators had fallen by 25.1% compared to 2023. Don't forget, the president, Nicolas Maduro, also touted a similar theory in December of 2023, saying, quote, "The country is seeing the best results in over 20 years in terms of citizens' security, peace, and protection of the people." One more time. The President Maduro of Venezuela says the country is quoted as saying the country is seeing the best results in over not 2 years, 20 years in terms of citizen security, peace, and protection of the people. And in the meantime, the Americans here, we're dealing with shootings. You don't think those gangs made their way over here? I mean, it's open borders. All you gotta do is just show up, open borders. Free food, housing, utilities. Hey, get a check. So, where's the peace and security and protection for the Americans? You wonder why crime is going down in Venezuela, honey? You don't be slow. You can do the math. Chances are because a lot of those criminals are over here.
Fire. Resident Edward Romero
Oh my
says
gosh.
he's unsuccessfully been complaining about several issues here for months now.
And here's one issue here, all this trash. And listen to what this man says. He's complained about several issues here about about what's going on at the apartment complex. Listen to what he says.
So they disconnected the phones. They're not answering their emails, and they're basically just left us.
Romero
Disconnected the phone so you can't call. He said for several months. No contact. Disconnected the phones, not answering the emails. And what are you doing? Unbelievable.
successfully been complaining about several issues here for months now.
So they disconnected the phones. They're not answering their emails, and they're basically just left us.
Romero's car was also hit by gunfire at the complex that is being operated by the CBZ Management Company. That's the same company that also managed the Fitzsimmons apartment complex, which was recently shut down by the city of Aurora due to repeated code violations. Back at the Edge complex, worries grow.
Every night he's shooting everywhere.
We're told the problems at the complex grew worse when a large number of immigrants began moving in about 6 or 7 months ago.
No kidding.
Not long afterward, we're told trash began to pile up and now spills into an alley.
And that's something.
Moving in about 6 months grow.
Every night he's shooting everywhere.
So hold on. The shooting has come over here. And I mentioned Venezuelan gangs, but over in Venezuela said the country is seeing the best results in over 20 years in terms of citizen security, peace, and protection of the people. But American citizens are facing shootings. And lady said this wasn't a one-time thing every night. Huh. Seems like somebody's felonious feet been moving. Uh-huh.
We're told the problems at the complex grew worse when a large number of immigrants began moving in about 6 or 7 months ago. Not long afterward, we're told trash began to pile up and now spills into an alleyway.
And I've been hearing that they don't have just like one family in an apartment. It could be like two families all piled up. So look at this right here. America, third world country. And it is what it is. It only happened after they moved in. I've never seen an apartment complex. Look at this. But I guess where they're from, this is what they do. They're bringing those ways here. Congratulations on your open borders.
And the city is now telling us that it plans to pick up that trash on August 22nd. The CBZ Management Company, meantime, tells us that they have no further comment on this case. And back to that developing news this afternoon that a task force.
Now hold on. Now keep in mind the man Ramirez said he's been calling for months complaining. They have disconnected the phones and no email. They just left them. It makes me wonder. I wonder if they're in fear of those gangs. Also, listen to this last part. Now, keep in mind, American taxpayers, the illegal immigrants, and that's who they are. Free food, free rent, free meal. I mean, everything is free, 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 free. But listen to this last part. How did you come with get a long gun? Where are the guns coming from? Please don't tell me that they're using those if they're using the American tax dollars that they're getting for free to buy weapons.
Has now been formed to go after a Venezuelan gang. There's no way to tell if it had anything to do with this particular complex.
Yeah, right.
But that video that I saw, I can tell you there were long guns with scopes on them. And
hold on. If you can afford a long gun with a scope on them, you sure as heck don't need free food and free cash in the Americans, do you?
To go after a Venezuelan gang, there's no way to tell if it had anything to do with this particular complex. But that video that I saw, I can tell you there were long guns with scopes on them, and several men had guns in their hands shortly before this shooting took place last night. More to come.
Where do they get the guns from? Are you buying guns with American tax dollars and have them smuggled in? So your tax dollars bring these folk in to support them, and this is what you get in return. Getting your car shot up, can't sleep at night, got a duck on the floor like you in a war zone. And you get this. Don't be surprised if giant rats start popping up, being in them. So much for the open borders. I thought they came here to work. Oh, they did, Joey? Really? They also obviously came here to shoot. What's next? Loot? Living off the taxpayers, and this is the thanks that you get. Shootings, violence, and trash. Don't forget, don't forget, President Maduro, what they say? The country is seeing the best results in over 20 years in terms of citizen security, peace, and protection of the people. So now the Americans living there don't have any peace. And where's the protection? But they do have a whole, we've seen gunshot, bullet holes in vehicles, and also trash. Congratulations. So much for open borders. Working out pretty well, huh? What, folks? What do you think? Way to go. Anyway, let me know what you all think. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share, and I'm out. Like they need to be.